Hi, I'm Jim with Pour the Juice, and in this video, I wanted to test something out. I don't know if you've tried them yet, but this is one of those new Knob Creek picks that's at cask strength. This one's from Benash Liquors. It's 126.6 proof, and it is just under 10 years old. And it's phenomenal. So, thinking about that, it is older than any Bookers that I've had, except for, Infinite says it has 20 year in there, but it's still a lower age statement on that. And now the proof is right there with Bookers. I really want to see how this compares to it. They're both Jim Beam products, but Bookers is like $100 a bottle, and this is $65. I always wondered why they didn't do cask strength for their Knob Creek picks, or just their Knob Creek 9-year high proof bottles in general. I wanted to know why they didn't do cask strength. And maybe it's because people were picking those over the Bookers at the time. Maybe it's because they're better than the Bookers. Just trying to figure out if any of that's true or not. So what we're going to do is a little blind. I have this Benash Knob Creek cask strength pick, and I have 3 bottles of Bookers over here. I'm going to compare them all. I'm going to see which one I like the best out of all of them in a blind. So yeah, let's get them poured up. I'm going to pour Knob Creek pick. Oh, dropping some wax. And I'm going to put the C marker on that. C. And then I picked a couple random Bookers. This is 2303 Mighty Fine Batch. I'm not trying to see if the Knob Creek cask strength picks are better than the best Bookers that I have. I just want to see if it's better than some of the Bookers. Because if you could buy it, this is going to be B, by the way. Mighty Fine. I mean, if you could buy a Knob Creek pick for $65, or, you're taking a risk on a Bookers, why not go with the Knob Creek? I got the Springfield batch. This is 2401. Put that one back over here. And that's going to be D. And I don't know if this next bottle's in frame, but I am going to add in the 2024 Reserves bottle. Just so there is something higher end in the Bookers that I'm comparing this Knob Creek to. Visually, there's not much of a difference between any of them. They all look about the same. And I'm going to put A on the Reserves. And I'm going to apologize now because these videos tend to go long. I'm sure it's going to be a 20-minute video, 25-minute video. I have a tough time picking, especially when it's the same brand. It can get kind of difficult. I already don't know which is in which spot, but we'll keep mixing them up a little bit. Don't want to drop any. If you like these types of blinds, let me know. You want me to do more of them? I like doing intra distillery blinds within distilleries, comparing the brands to each other. I also like doing normal blinds too. So if you want to see some of those, let me know. Comment. Let me know what you want to see. And yeah, so these were mixed up as well as they can be for me. You know, I lost track after a couple seconds. So yeah, I'm gonna get to it. Typically, the way I do this is I start from the right. I'm gonna smell and go. Sometimes I smell all of them. Sometimes I don't know. It's gonna be whatever I feel, and then I'll go back through and try to figure it out. This is a bit muted. I am getting some Jim Beam peanut. But nothing too crazy. This is even more muted. I haven't gotten into these bottles all that much. I believe the reserves I've had in a couple blinds. I'm actually really looking forward to the next one that comes out. Yeah, this is even more muted than the first one. Maybe it's me. This one smells great. This one has some fresh cherry on there. Some caramel. Still not really jumping out of the glass. Again, that could just be my nose for the day. And same as this. I do think it's just me. Yeah, that one I'm not picking anything up on. So it's going to be all on the palate. Let's go. Very beamy, very Bookersy. This is heavy on the peanut and vanilla. A little bit of corn in there. This glass is having a shaking problem. Oh, it feels a little bit more balanced, a little bit less peanutty, a little more cherry in it. Spicy though. I have some water. All right. Let's move on. That one's fantastic. Less peanut. More caramel. More cherry. A little bit of that beaminess, but not a lot. Very smooth. I know that's a cliche word in the whiskey business, especially with reviews, calling a whiskey smooth, but it didn't have any rough edges compared to the first two. It was drying, peanutty. These two are going to be almost interchangeable on here for my initial taste. And then these two were clearly a little bit better, in my opinion. I'm going to go back through the other way after giving my palate a little bit of time to rest. And while I do that, I'm just going to read off some of the proof on these bottles. I mentioned the Knob Creek is at 126.6. The Mighty Fine Batch is at also 126.6. The Reserves is at 125.9. And the Springfield Batch is at 124.5. So the Reserves and the Springfield are both a little bit lower proof. Mighty Fine and the Knob Creek, exactly the same proof. Now, what I will say is obviously, I said with my nose, I'm having a little bit of a tough time today. And, my palate probably is struggling because of that. And still, even saying that, it does seem that the two on my right, your left, are a bit higher quality than the ones over here. Now, I may get to the end of this and these may be the Mighty Fine Batch and the Springfield Batch, and then I'll be laughing at myself, but who knows? There does seem to be some sort of separation, though. Go back through. That was nice. It does have some caramel in there, but it's mostly vanilla. Vanilla, the bean nuttiness. Like I said, a little caramel. I don't get much fruit on there. I think that's what separates good beam from great beam. I think, those great beam products bring in more than just the nuttiness, vanilla, caramel. They bring a little bit of fruit characteristics to it. They bring some aged notes, some chocolate. Whereas some of the ones that are just okay are mostly peanut and vanilla. And that's what this is. It's very good. I really enjoy it. It's nothing special for me today. That one hit me wrong. I have to try that again. The fuzz on my cup. Sometimes you take a sip and it just rocks you. That's what that one just did. So this is more earthy than the first one. There is more to it. It's not just peanut. It's not just vanilla. There's some earthiness in there. It's a little bit drying. I would say there's a little bit of fruit too, but it's hidden for sure. I think that's good for now. These high proof blends or blinds just annihilate my palate. One time through and it's like dry it out and it's tough. All right, let's go to my number 2 right now. Yeah, it's fantastic. To me, it's a little bit brighter. A lot more caramel. Like honey roasted peanut. Not really much fruit either. I do think these are a little bit closer. My second round through. Yeah, that might be better. I think that's the way it should be right now. This is really bothering me. Okay. And then, yeah, that is hitting me with more fruit. This is tough. You know, normally in other blinds that I've done, the reserves has kind of made its mark on here. I'm fairly certain whatever this is just going to be a normal Booker's. Almost 100%. But the fact that the reserves isn't standing head and toes above the rest of these is very interesting to me. Because it has in other blinds. There's just a lot more cherry in that than the rest of the whiskeys that are on the table. A lot more fruit in general. Still has that bean nuttiness, a lot of caramel, a lot of vanilla. But the cherry does shine through because the rest of them are kind of missing that element. That one's very good. Sorry, there's a gnat, fruit fly, something. Man, this is tough. Higher focus on vanilla on this one as well. It just has a little something extra. A little bit of, I guess, it's got to be the barrel notes for age. Man, the proof is kicking my butt right now. Yeah, I think I'm just going to stick with this. First, second, third, fourth. Let's see what they are. Before I share it, if you have your guess, put it in the comments below. Let me know what you think. All right, so fourth place, Springfield. I'm not totally surprised. You know, I said before that I thought that would be a normal Booker's batch. Wasn't sure if it was going to be the Springfield or the Mighty Fine. The Mighty Fine is, you know, a little bit better than I thought it was. The Springfield's a little bit worse. Let's see what came in third place. Third place is B, Mighty Fine Batch. So, I mean, even at this point right now, the Knob Creek pick has beaten two Bookers. It's a $65 bottle, beating two $100 bottles. Jesus, this net is killing me. Sorry. There's something to be said for that. Minimally, if you're a big Booker's fan and you see one of these laying around, pick it up. Now, I will say, Benash, they do phenomenal on their picks. Every one that I've had has been great, but it's higher aged, same proof, same distillery. All right. Second place is the C. It's the Knob Creek. Which means first place is the reserves. And, I was going to assume one way or the other, either reserves first, Knob Creek first, one of the two. I'm happy that the reserves beat Knob Creek store pick. It very well should have. These should have too. But we see what it is. This is very interesting to me. I hope it's interesting to you too. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, please subscribe. Yeah. Cheers.